In this video, we're going to go over a protocol that is doing something that I have never seen before. And honestly, guys, I'm extremely excited because they have a reputable team behind them and a model that I think for once will actually work for Rebase tokens. Hey, what is up, everybody? Thank you so much for tuning in to another one of my videos. And in today's video, we're going to be looking at Liquid Capital. Now, a lot of you have already seen so many videos on Liquid Capital, or LC as a lot of people call it. However, what will be different in my video in comparison to every other video out there is that I'm not simply going to be just talking about the protocol, but I'm also going to be going into a comparative analysis and go in depth as to why I think this model will actually compete well on the market. And unlike every single Rebase token that we have seen launch, why I think that it potentially has the capabilities to uphold the APY that it is going to deliver. The layout of the video will be as such. We're firstly going to dive into briefly what Liquid Capital is. We're going to jump into who the team is. We're then going to look as to why they will be able to maintain these APRs and how it is different from other big names in the Rebase field. And lastly, we're going to conclude with my personal thoughts and opinions on Liquid Capital and things that you really need to watch out for come project launch. Now, real quickly, I just want to mention that I am not a financial advisor and none of this is financial advice. You guys should always do your own research. And of course, this is DeFi. It's important to bear in mind that everything is very experimental. So make sure you guys do your research properly. Well, right off the bat, guys, one of the main things that I do like about this protocol is the fact that they are designed to deliver what DeFi investors desire the most, which is safety, accountability, and sustainability. And I personally, as an investor in DeFi, I do look for these three things all the time. And I actually do think that these guys are going to be able to uphold this promise because of the fact that the model is quite different from the general Rebase token. And what do I mean by that? Well, if we actually scroll down, you can see this is one of the main things that I personally have not seen in another protocol. Feel free to correct me if this is something common that I just don't know about down in the comment section. But a dynamic APY will allow the protocol to be much more sustainable. Now, what does that mean? What is a dynamic APY? As you can see, it says a Liquid AR implements a sustainable dynamic APY based on volume. Right, guys? So now what is Liquid AR? Well, if you look right above here, it says Liquid Auto Rebasing, LAR, which is the auto rebasing mechanism that they have. At the core is a highly sustainable variable daily percentage yield that updates based on the health of the protocol. So it takes into consideration the health of the protocol and delivers the APR accordingly. That's something I haven't seen. In most other protocols, you're promised 2%, 3%, 5%, 1% every single day, regardless of the market conditions. And obviously, in my opinion, if we do kind of look at these other protocols that have been around, even the biggest names in the field, for example, Titano, we can see that they have struggled quite a lot to keep the price. You know, it's down quite a lot. And me personally, I see a chart like this and it's not very friendly to an investor such as myself. Similarly, other big names in the field such as Sphere, although these guys are doing a lot of different things, at the get-go, at least in comparison, they are a rebased token and they as well have been going or trending downwards. So in my opinion, having this dynamic APY and kind of rewarding people depending on the health of the protocol is definitely a great way to try to maintain that price action. Now, while we are on this topic of maintaining price, I also want to say that another big component in their protocol of maintaining price is the fact that they have so many partners. As you guys can see on their white paper, if you actually go over to their Liquid Capital Partners tab, these are all the partners that they have already. And I promise you, the number keeps growing every single day, as every time I check up on their Discord, link down in the description. If you guys haven't already joined, make sure you go and check them out. But having all these reputable names working alongside Liquid Capital does indeed show to me that these guys are looking to make that more long-term element. Now, you guys might be saying like, okay, what is the benefit of having these partners on board? Well, the first benefit is obviously, for example, if we look at the first partner that they have there, Titano, these guys have almost 80,000 addresses. And what that means is that Liquid Capital is now being exposed to 80,000 address holders. So obviously that's extremely important. And we have a lot of other partners that they also have in their arsenal. And that kind of allows us to have a perfect segue to jump into the second part of this video, which is namely the team. So if you guys join their Discord, which I mentioned is in the description down below, you guys can see that the founder is LB. And if you guys have been in the DeFi space for a while, you guys will already know that LB is also the creator for a Grape Finance. Now, Grape Finance in its core is a Tomb fork. However, I have been invested in this protocol for a long time, and guys, they've been holding peg really well. I think they only lost peg for one time before regaining it quickly, and as you can see here, they have almost 12 million TVL, and they've been maintaining really well. So these guys being around from January shows to me that they know exactly how to make a protocol sustainable, which, coming back to their front page, is one of their main elements right here. Now let's talk about why they're saying safety. Well, if we have a look back at their white paper again, you can see here that the team is KYC'd and or doxed and is well known in the DeFi community. And that's extremely important. You know, having a KYC, although is very nice, a lot of these third parties are very shady. And as such, in my opinion, they're not the best. However, when you're doxed and you're on camera, everybody knows who this individual is. And not only does it create that sense of safety that Liquid Capital is trying to promote, but it also does create that sense of connection to the protocol, to the team itself when they are doxed. And as such, I personally do think that that is how they are going to be safe as well. Now let's talk about why they will be able to maintain the APRs. If we look at their projected daily returns over 4 months, you guys can see here that they predict that in month 1 it'll be anywhere from 1 to 2% daily, because obviously it would have just launched, there would be a lot of volume, and then the following months would go down slightly. Now, why would it go down? Well, that's because every single Rebase protocol that I have seen, at least ever since Titano started, there's always a lower amount of volume that gets injected into these protocols over time. You know, the hype happens right at the once, but it is kind of unreasonable to expect people to be jumping into Liquid Capital for months on end to come. And as such, it is understandable that the amount of people joining will be reduced substantially as the days go by. So what happens is, whenever that new money slows down after a month or two, these protocols end up dying, all these Rebase protocols. And that's why they have this tapered model where they think that it is going to be earning less money every single month, but still be able to provide an insane APR. Like, personally, for me, if I'm able to earn 0.5%, which is auto compounding every 30 minutes, and I don't have to worry about it, it's not staked, and it has a docs team, a KYC team, it definitely satisfies me as an investor. So that's one thing that I do think is really important, that they're not giving a false promise of giving 5%, 3%, 2% every single day forever. What they are promising is a more sustainable model, which is more tapered, and as such will be giving out less rewards over a period of time, just because they recognize that in reality it is normal for there to be less and less investors coming into the protocol. But that doesn't mean that the protocol will die out, right? So that's the first part in how I believe that they will be able to maintain their volume, or rather their APRs. And the second point is the fact that if you look into their partners as well, you guys can see that they partnered with Horde. Now, Horde is a protocol that is very unique in my opinion, and what they offer is a liquid management service within their protocol that is going to be utilized by Liquid Capital. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, if we look at the Horde chart, you guys can see ever since March 23rd, we've been above this kind of range, and that's because of the liquid management system, or the LMS system that they have in place. It's been 100 days, so obviously this is proving some sort of sustainability. And if that is implemented onto Liquid Capital, what that will essentially mean is that the price will be managed up and down, And as such, it'll provide that sustainability and the accountability to kind of finalize these 3 tenets that are available on their front landing page. So now we know exactly how it's going to be sustainable because of the fluctuating APRs, and by implementing Horde's LMS system. We know how it's going to be safe because it is with a team that is doxed and has a really good reputation already from the past. And now we know how it's going to be accountable as well. And to add on to the point of accountability, these guys have AMAs and discussions over on YouTube with other influencers all the time. And as such, they are making sure that they are accountable. So now my personal concluding thoughts and opinions on Liquid Capital. I personally do think that the model and the tokenomics and the system they have is very smart. They obviously have a lot of experience in the field. One of the best examples, I guess, for me, and one of the best indicators is Greep Finance and how it's actually doing. Bear in mind, guys, Greep Finance has been around since I believe January, if I'm not mistaken. So it's been 6 months, heading towards that 7th month. Which is longer than a lot of other protocols that I've seen, being able to hold peg and still be deliver very good daily rewards. And as such, me personally, I know for a fact that once they do implement the sustainability element into the rebase model that we have initially by tapering the APRs, as we mentioned, I do definitely think that that will add that extra layer that is needed for these rebase tokens to actually succeed. Because giving out a fixed APR, although it is very attractive because you know what you're earning every single day, you will be earning that in a token that is being highly inflated after a short period of time. Remember, it is auto compounding as well, so that 2% daily or that 3% daily, whatever it may be, is actually much more when a month or 2 months go by. Now, they also have an extremely high amount of money that they're trying to raise. I believe it is $10 million that will be raised on Orbital Swap, which is one of the biggest raises I have seen in a long while. So that is also something to consider, that they are definitely starting off with a very big ask. I haven't, as I said, I haven't seen a protocol start off with that much, so I will be curious to see whether in the crypto winter that we are in, whether it will actually fill or hit the soft cap. I personally do think it will, just because of the fact that, look at these guys are relentless in the partners that they are trying to bring on board and the type of community that they are trying to create. And when we do look at their community, we can see that one of their moderators is a lame hillbilly. And you guys already know from my video that I've done recently, I am a big fan of this individual just because of how he handles his own protocol. So once again, another reputable individual also working on Liquid Capital. There's a bunch of them. There's a lot of people essentially that are all well known in my opinion. And as such, I definitely do think that it will do well. Now that is going to be it for the video today. I hope the information was valuable to you guys. If there is any information that you feel that I have left out, feel free to let me know down in the comments below. But otherwise, I hope you all have an amazing rest of the day. And as always, guys, let's get that bag. Peace.